You don't need their coaching. You don't need their workshop. You don't need their course. I've been thinking a lot about the fact that we are constantly being sold coaching, courses, classes, you name it. If you're in any entrepreneurial space or self-development space or professional development space, you are seeing everyone trying to sell you something. And I just wanted to offer up today that you don't need it. You don't need their coaching. You don't need their workshop. You don't need their course. In fact, they probably don't know anything that you don't already know or can't find out on your own. And it's not to say that I think classes are bad. I don't. I think if you're learning a specific skill or you're joining a class because you want the camaraderie of the other participants, that's so worthwhile. But if you are constantly being sold coaching, you are probably being sold by someone who knows a little bit more than you, but not like a lot more than you. I have in the last month been sold multiple coaching or workshop or consulting kind of things that were really hard for me to say no to because I was in the marketing spiral that they put me in. I'll give you two examples and kind of how I dealt with it. The first was I took a free class for 7 days with an artist that I really admire. And I knew that by taking the 7-day class, it would be to sell their much larger workshop, but I didn't realize the level of selling that was going to take place. There were, no kidding, 3 to 5 emails a day in my inbox. There was a Facebook group. There were live calls, you name it, all to try to get you to pay for this class or workshop, or I don't even really know, time with them. It just seemed like they had figured out a system for themselves for their art, which is working for them. And I admire that work so much. But instead of leaning into the work and having the work be the thing that propels them forward, they are, making their bucks selling it to people who, not the work, but the you could be like me is what that is. If you only learn these things. The thing that was the real turnoff for me, by the way, in that was that in the Facebook group, someone asked about all the other people who do these workshops and courses. And that artist said, oh, they're all crap. Every one of those are crap. And it was like, oh my gosh, ego much? Yeah, not a lot of grace. And people are attracted to that because they feel like it's feisty energy, but really it's just abusive bullying, if you want to know the truth. So there was that. And then the other was a little more subtle, but not really. A person who has been pretty successful in a very short time on YouTube has created a group, and it's been great in the group. The group is free, but then that person said, I want to do a case study group and work with those people as a case study. And I thought, wow, how cool is that to be part of a case study as they're growing their career and trying to get information or examples. That's what I thought it was. That isn't what it was. It was obviously a way to have us pay for her coaching. And I am not saying that that wouldn't propel you forward, but also most of those people who are selling you that are just one step ahead, or they're doing something that you don't want to do, or they're working in a way that isn't sustainable and maybe isn't how you want to work. And so I took the call and had the conversation, but pretty quickly said, no, I'm not your person. And so in those two instances, one was a complete turnoff because the person was just selling so hard and then also just so horrible. And the other was a little bit deceitful, sort of in that MLM way. I don't know if you know about that, but that's where you're invited in and then they take a select group and make them feel special, like VIP or extra. You might have to apply or do a little something to get over into that group. And then with those special people, so they've made you feel special, then they try to sell you something that's exclusive just to you. But it's not really, because they'll just sell it to whomever. It's not really about you. It's not like a job where you go get an interview and they hire you as a person. It's like, I've selected you to pay me money to learn a thing. And I think what I'd like to really say today, and I have a lot more to say about this and marketing and so forth, is that if we want to live lives that are authentic, rooted in joy, have a sustainable pace, are off the hustle culture track, then we have to be smarter about how we get sold to and help people opt out of that. So one thing you can do is, if you're going to get into one of those situations where you take a free workshop or you're in a group, tell a friend, say, hey, I was selected for this thing, or I'm doing this thing. And then before you buy the course or buy the coaching or buy the workshop, check in with a friend, someone who really knows you, and they'll tell you, they might be able to reflect back that it is scammy. That's what I did. I talked to a friend and said, what do you think? And both times, no, not a fit, not what we were looking for, not what I was looking for. And so I'm not saying that you don't need help or people who have skills above you or expertise. We all do. I have an accountant, a doctor, a physical therapist, those are things that you would have. And it isn't to say that I wouldn't have a coach in a particular area. But that person better have more experience than 3 months doing something. I myself have 35 years in marketing, 35 years. I feel like I could do this. And I think that's why I'm so savvy and so against it. I know what works for me. I have years of experience. I'm able to take that experience and put it into use every single day in the most efficient way. I can't teach that to you. That is an embodied practice that I have. That is something that I have learned and that has a depth of knowledge. It isn't my job on this planet to teach you how I do things. My job is to help you do things the way you're going to do them. And you don't need to pay me to do that. You don't need to pay me to do that. So let's help each other out when we think we're getting sales funneled. And beware out there. You're getting sold to every single day by these coaches and courses. And just remember that a get rich quick scheme isn't.